of the things which he possesses. Parable, and that's the we look at a piecemeal so that we can understand the gamut, I mean, the intention of that, uh, you know, that proverb. Let's consider 16 and 17. I'm breaking the proverb down. And they speak a parable or the proverb, whichever. Then say, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, what shall I? Because I have no room to bestow my fruits. That is going on. It's not you are hardworking from God. You are hardworking from God. That for sure he will make it. But there's plenty. Like in this case, he has worked so much that he's really. They said in verse 10, the ground brought forth 9. It's just money. Working. It's good to work. And there's no way you work and you won't make it. But this man just concentrated on making money. Now, the money has come. Verse 17 now, and he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. This is expansion. There's nothing wrong in planning, in getting your business to grow. There's nothing wrong. It's strategic planning, that's what we're doing here. Every business is always designed to grow, to increase. But then, the unfortunate thing about this person is that he just occupies himself with strategic planning, thoughts, provoking ideas, conceptualization of growth philosophy. These are the things, the books he must have been reading. How this business will grow from this state to another state, this state. That was what he preoccupied himself with. And at this point, he spake as someone that has just, who is lost to making money, which is why you see a lot of people in the corporate world and not in the church world. Because they just want money, they want profitability, they want growth, they want success. That's their interest. They don't care about what does the Lord say. How do we do this money? So his own is, what will I do to expand my business? Because at this stage I have no room because there's so much riches. Now, Jesus Christ had the temptation because Satan knew the capacity of Jesus, what he came for. And what he did was to expose him to riches, huge riches, to give him the whole world, on the condition that we abandon God. That's like we will not, reality will not be unto Almighty God again. That's the condition. Because as we speak, Satan say controls this heart. In Matthew chapter 4, verses 8 to 9, again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou will fall down and worship me. Then said Jesus unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Jesus did not fall into the trap of Satan because he knew anything that Satan offers is a trap. I mean, how can you tell Jesus that he should worship you? I mean, and he was doing this because Jesus was a man, and all of these things happening now was in the spirit, talking to Jesus, and which many of us also face. Temptation comes like you're hearing the voice, spirit communicating with you, you know. And some of these temptations are not physical. You're just conceptualizing them. It's not every time people will come your way. Riches get one hearing wrong voices. Spirit. That's it. I like you to know that temptations basically is divided into two parameters. One directly, a man or a woman, and then one, your thought, which is inspired by the spirit, Oftentimes it's the spirit of the devil that brings that temptation, because God will not tempt you with evil. A person like Solomon was heavily rich, stinking, and that was what got him into problem. He even had wisdom. God gave him wisdom, but alas, he did not make use of that wisdom. He just got lost and fell into the trap of the riches. Look at his case in 1 Kings chapter 3. We must always know that there's war between the flesh and the spirit. Some of us, we just think we have arrived. We have not. We have not. Because there's constant war, as we are told in Galatians, between the spirit and the flesh, lusting after one another, waging war. So that's why it's advisable. We must men not to pray always. Men ought to pray always and not faint. We have to keep praying. We have to keep being in the assembly of right believers, because evil communication corrupts good manners. In 1 Kings chapter, look at the blessings that God gave us, and with wisdom to accompany, First Kings 3, verses 10 to 14. He had everything that would have helped him to reason well. Verses 10 to 14. The speech pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked this thing. He didn't ask for money, he just want wisdom to get the people that God has placed him over. And God said unto him, because thou hast asked these things, and hast not asked for thyself, neither hast asked, nor hast asked the life of thy enemies, but not thee. Before thee, neither after thee, shall any arise like unto thee. Verse 13, and I have also given which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, but he abandoned that wisdom. He just allowed that spirit to blindfold him, and he went into Adeola. Even from that, and Satan can manipulate it, can get one mad, and he got him mad in traffic, went into terrible sin of having 700 wives and 300 concubines. And all of these concubines and wives, they were coming with the idol, of their countries. Can you see how, when you don't know how to use riches from God, how it turns you? That's why a lot of people, the wisdom God has given them in form of talent, the beauty God has given them, many advantages, they allow Satan to manipulate it in their hand. Look at it. Many of these pastors who are messing up, they speak good English. You can see they are sound, very intelligent, They are good business people. But look at what Satan has done, the spirit of Satan. Look at what he has done. He has converted such good things that God has given them into manipulative machine. They're now, being led of Satan. Good talents being converted to evil talents. Can you please? What? The moment you depart from this world, the scriptures, the word that God speaks, the moment, no matter who you are, if you only depend on, that you can do it by yourself, you can pray, you can, act. No, that's what kills you. What of David himself? The same thing. David too was rich. He had everything that human beings should have. Of this Solomon, everything. It's worrisome that a lot of people who have knowledge, who have capacity, particularly in this our era, that are the ones that have become tools in the hand of Satan. Look at the array of those who are messing up. Some of them in the church space, engineers, especially in the Pentecostal. You see engineers there, you see lawyers there, you see people there, medical doctors. Where people, but alas, architects, among them, you see, mathematicians at PhD level. You ask yourself, why will this set of people become a tool in the hand of Satan? It's a great question that is still, because of the body of Christ, it pains one that what happened? The mighty falling, and the weapon of war perishing. Mighty hand. You imagine all these people that I mentioned, these people. Suppose they got it right, they will not be on their own. Think about it. If all these people, these high sounding intellectuals who went to best school, some went to Harvard University, high sounding school, something from the University of Lagos, and even others there. Imagine many London School of London School of Business, even they are, Satan would have disappeared. The rapture would have taken place. And Christ will have, the millennial reign will have taken place. So, where they are not suffering, no more pain. You see what these people who gave themselves to Satan, see how they slow down the process of when peace will have reigned in the earth. And now we'll have forgotten Satan. We won't even remember that he once lived. But this one just cheap in the hand of Satan. And they are the cause of the deal. They are the cause. I mean, look at something like this, this David. 1 Corinthians chapter 29. I read verse 27 to verse 28. Sorry, First Chronicle, I said, not First Corinthians, First Chronicle, chapter 29. First Chronicle, chapter 29. I'm just trying to establish the fact that David himself was rich. 29, verse 27 to 28. And the time that he reigned, that's David, over Israel, was 40 years. From verse 26, so that you know I'm talking about David. Thus, David, the son of Jesse, reigned over all Israel. And the time that he reigned over Israel was 40 years. 7 years reigned in Hebron, and 33 years reigned in Jerusalem. And died in a good old age, full of days, riches and honor. And Solomon his son reigned in his stead. He made riches, but you can see what riches brought into his life. He lost the ascension to the throne. He lost this momentarily. He found himself right in the wilderness. Why? Because he couldn't manage money well. He was just living carelessly, marrying, giving back to children, just living. Money is a trap. That's what you know. He was caught in that trap. But I understand their own case. At their own time, the Spirit of God has not come fully. Like the Spirit of God is in us today after the coming of Jesus. And that's why Jesus came. He came to resolve all the, anomalies of the Old Testament that got the saints of old, got them into some crisis. So he came to perfect. He came to make us the righteousness of God, because we are told that in the Old Testament, all our righteousness is like a filthy rag. But the coming of Jesus is to perfect things, because we cannot achieve righteousness ourselves. But today, through the death of Jesus Christ, we are given the gift of righteousness. And what we're supposed to be doing is to keep growing in that righteousness, holy life, because without holiness, no man shall see it. It's painful that many people are not benefiting from such a privilege. All right, having seen the danger of plenty riches as a trap, let's see what Jesus further said in verse 18 to verse 19. And he said, "This will I do. I will pull down my bands and build greater. There will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And will say to my soul, so thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry." You can see a man being overconfident of himself, a fool. He does not really know what he has belongs to God. We're saying, I will bestow this. I put my hands, build greater. Yeah, I will bestow all my goods. He says, my soul, he was just talking, unintelligently. Just thinking that the one that gives himself all of this, but steward of the Lord's goods. That's what many don't know. When you are rich in Christ, God, always know that this thing belongs to God. It's not yours. Like that man was speaking, he was just full of himself. He was at a loss and full of perplexity. He said, all right, now he woke up, I'm going to build it, I will take care of myself. See, anything you own, look at Hosea chapter 2, and you will see what God had to tell some people who blessed and who messed up with the riches. See, I'm collecting my things back from you. That's what I want to read to you now. Hosea chapter 2, verses 8 and 9. It was the son of Judea who thought that the riches they had was their own. He now told them, verse 9, he says, now, be careful. So, sorry, I think I should read from verse 8. For she did not know, that's good, that I gave her corn and wine and oil, and multiply her silver and gold, which they prepared for Baal. And you see, just like this, your boys, you think the money that even Satan was giving them is equal to his money that Satan holds. You don't know it's God that even gives them. And now see what they're using. using the money for. One of them was holding crusade. He said they brought one Cadillac, or I don't know, very expensive truck, that even the people who came for the crusade, they were no longer looking at Jesus. It was that car, that truck. I can't remember the name of it. Very expensive. Came down majestically from. Can that be of God? And that's what God is telling these people. And they prepared it for power. Something that God gave them. It is now being used to worship idol. Like that one now. Who did that? Just imagine that attention now moved from him to the type of car he brought. And that was the talk of the town. Then, verse 9, therefore will I return and take away my corn in the time thereof, and my wine in the season thereof, and will recover my wool and my flax, giving to cover our naked. You can see God's anger. Say, for using the money I gave you to honor Baal, you are in trouble. I will collect everything. So you see some of you will be rich. That's what's going to happen to all these liars who are making people. In your face, you will be here. Just watch out. They will become so poor. They will go into penury because God is going to recover everything from them. They will be begging for food, for the damage they have done to the gospel of Christ. You will see all this show they are making. You will pity them. I know one who started the ministry in Nigeria. I think they call that, if I remember. It was part of the emergence of this life doing ministry. The guy now, I'm sure it's not finding. I don't know whether he's still alive, but all the fanfare is over. So those of you who are still riding on the horse, continue. King. See, God has made you king and priest. They just misinterpret the scripture. Is that the type of king, or and then you dress like a king, and then people will be following with horse. So sometimes when I sit down and I look at, the Bible says when your king is a child eating in the morning, say woe unto you. You have kings who are eating in the morning, child. Just go and dress like masquerade. Then even one from America, then he also so it is that people like us are saying that we're just laughing. I mean, because I can't understand what impact is that? All of you dress. I just funny. I can't place it. And when you look at this man, he's of money. And, he's going to expand